Well, everybody, welcome back to Fortune Cookies Tarot. This is Annabelle. I am a tarot practitioner for over 35 years. And in this video, I'm going to do a two-parter. I am confident all of you are aware of what has happened with King Charles and his cancer diagnosis. We did a long live yesterday with Tarot Destiny and took a lot of questions in the chat. So it was a little bit disjointed in terms of continuity, but we did address almost everybody's questions. So wasn't in chronological order, but we did address everybody's questions. So it was a great live. I don't want you to think it was a bad live. It just was not linear in terms of timing. So what I thought we would do, I want to brighten things up, and I'm going to do a two-parter. It's called Hold the Line, ladies. We're going to focus on Camilla and Her Majesty Queen Camilla and the Princess Royale. So hang on, we'll be right back. And again, thanks everybody for showing up today. I am not on camera because I'm about to get on the treadmill and I am not camera ready. So this is a two-parter. We're going to look at Her Majesty Queen Camilla. We're also going to look at Her Royal Highness, the Princess Royale, Princess Anne. So today, this one, we're going to look at Queen Camilla. I'm going to keep this really positive. But I did bring out the big guns. I've got my Aleister Crowley Thoth Tarot here. So let's get started. Those of you that are subscribed, thank you so much for being a part of this crazy channel that I have been so blessed with. This morning I hit 2,222 subscribers. So we're handling the twos. So this deck was in order. So I'm going to give it a little shmush, little tarot lesson. This is called Washing the Deck. And we're just mixing up the cards really, really well. And putting it back together. And again, this is the Aleister Crowley Thoth Tarot. This deck was created in between 1943 and 1948. It was commissioned by Aleister Crowley as part of his initiation into the Golden Dawn, and he commissioned Lady Frida Harris to do the paintings that are the illustration. It is a gorgeous, gorgeous deck. Not necessarily for beginners. Was, I think, my third deck that I got, maybe second deck. It is a favorite of mine, but it's an intense deck, and I wanted to be intensely positive with our Hold the Line ladies reading. So I think you guys are going to get 3 readings out of me today. I think I'm going to put this up today. Today is February 6th. It's just about noon here in New York time zone. So let's see. Let's cover her disposition first. How her disposition is. And I don't typically read reversals with this deck. That's unusual for me, but I don't typically do it. We got a 7 of Swords there. This is her disposition. The Lovers. Queen of Wands. Knight of Discs. Looking good, guys. Looking good. And the 9 of Pentacles. 9 of Discs. 9 of Discs. 2 of Wands on the top. And the 5 of Wands on the bottom. So her disposition, the 7 of Wands, it is represented by futility, the keyword in the Crowley deck. But this is also being embattled and really kind of feeling like things are coming at you from all angles. When we have 7, 7 is a little chaotic. It's an odd number. The 5s are also chaotic. So this really is either an overdraft of chaos that we're dealing with, or chaos that's really just coming from all angles. So I do think that she kind of feels like, wow, what did we do? Like, we've got, you know, Princess of Wales is sick. We've got the trouble with Uncle York. We've got Edward, who was not in great health, but taking a break, the Duke of Edinburgh, after he went and visited that tortoise that his mother visited, the oldest living land creature, I think. He's taking a little break. So it seems like everyone is kind of ducked out. And, the sanctity of marriage is supposed to be the citadel that you can run to and that you can find peace and serenity. It shouldn't be a institution in your life that is chaotic or difficult, or one that you do not feel safe and supported and protected within. So this is something that she runs to. She runs to the sanctity of marriage. So this, business of having a lot coming at her, a lot of different struggles and difficulties coming at her. She's running to the sanctity of marriage, which of course does have its own challenges now. But the good news is that she becomes this Queen of Wands. Now, I've always seen Queen Camilla defer to King Charles. We have seen that since they have been together. And I do think if we look back in history, she had deferred to him in terms of not being suitable for marriage with him. She was content with the relationship as it was historically. It wasn't until I do firmly believe that he pushed for the marriage. I think he was intent on making her an honest woman, so to speak. But now she gets to come to the fore, and she gets to really show her strength here, which I think is really tremendous. And her continued support of him remains with this Knight of Discs. So not only does she come to the fore, and she will be fighting some of his battles for him, I do want to say that, but she's going to maintain this incredible amount of integrity. And also, I think she will be the secret keeper. I think she is going to hold on to some of the information. I don't think that there's a lot of information that's going to be passed out freely and readily. Up here, the dominant energy, we have Dominion, which again echoes this taking of the helm, taking the front seat, and really driving that chariot into their future together. So I think she is very much involved in conversations, not only of state, of her husband's positions, the king's position, but I think also with the doctors, she is having a very, very, very forward, Camilla forward, Queen forward. I think she is really very much going to be right there by his side and helping him make decisions and helping push him in directions that are necessary. So down here under the surface, we do have the 5 of Wands, which is strife. That is the keyword on the Crowley deck. I think she is braced for drama. I wonder where from. So let's clean this up. It looks like her disposition is taking the front seat, taking charge, being in charge, saying, I've got this. You just sit there and do what you have to do to heal. I think she's really, really being a stand-up gal. So next question, I'm going to look at her health, because it was recently that we heard that there was possibly a breast cancer issue. We also heard that she had some back issues, and I have always held that there's some kind of issue with blood with her. That's something that I got in my other readings. I'm sorry if my voice sounds a little rough. I'm drinking coffee again, and I'm drinking it black. Not enjoyable. Black with cinnamon. Blech. I'd rather have tea with milk and sugar, but whatever. I need a little extra push today, a little extra caffeine. So how is her health? Let's look at her health. Again, this is Queen Camilla. We are looking at her health. And we have the Prince of Swords. Princess of Swords. And the Crowley deck, for those of you that aren't, the Thoth deck, those of you that aren't familiar with it, we have princes, princesses, not pages and knights. Then we have the queen, and a knight represents the king in the Crowley deck. So don't get confused. So her health, we are looking good. So Prince of Sword, Princess of Swords, she is actively doing the things that she needs to do almost to excess to preserve her good health. So whatever ails her, whatever issues that she may have, she is doing what she needs to do. Now, swords sometimes do talk about surgery. So if there is in fact an issue, a breast issue, or a back issue that needs to be resolved, the fact that I have two of these here, we may be treating proactively and then possibly having to go in there and do some surgery, which is really unfortunate. I do hope that that is not the case. The good news is we have the 10 of Pentacles here, the 10 of Discs in the Crowley deck, which is wealth, stability, longevity. We've got some longevity there. We also have the Ace of Wands and the Two of Wands here. So the Ace of Wands is restored vigor, restored health, restored prosperity in terms of health and wellness. And then the Two of Wands, the Dominion, which is going to give her that energy to work together with the king to make sure that he recovers. So it's almost like she manifests better health. She may need a little bit of help along the way from physicians, but she is going to come to the fore, manifest, and work really, really well on herself to restore herself so that she can be there for her husband. Over here, we have the Four of Cups. This is in the upright, in the dominant energy position. So this Four of Cups here, she is really, really getting a hold of her emotions. We're going to look at her mental health in just a second in the next spread. But this is getting a hold of her emotions and not being emotional about the problems that exist at this time. So she is going to pick herself up by her bootstraps. This is a very like Madonna 80s kind of energy that's coming out of her. I really do think that she is going to really shine as the Queen of England right now. I think she's going to exhibit an example of support for one's husband. Now, under the surface, we do have the Knight of Wands. She is fired up. She's ready to go. They may be telling her to stand down just a bit and kind of cool her jets and not be so aggressive about restoring her health and restoring the king's health. They may be trying to hold her back a little bit. And I think she's being polite enough about that. But honestly, she is anxious and raring to go and ready to get things sorted. So no nonsense that lady. I have said in recent years that Camilla is someone that I would love to go have a few gin and tonics and have lunch with, and quiet room where we could gossip, maybe nice conservatory. So let's see how her mental health is doing. Everything we've done so far looks very, very good for her. It looks like she is very practical in terms of how she thinks. She's being very practical in her approach. Mental health, universe. This is a new place that they have to go. And we have the Strength card, which is represented by lust in the Crowley Thoth Tarot. Okay. So her mental health right now, her mental disposition, how she is feeling. This was a shock and a threshold into another phase of life. So we go through different thresholds as we go through life. When you graduate school, when you graduate university, when you get married, when you have your first child, these are all thresholds that we walk through. And this was a threshold for them. The coronation, of course, was a threshold. For her, this is another threshold that they walk through, that perhaps good health is not something that is to be taken for granted, that now we have to be much more careful. Now, some people have this illumination much earlier in life. This is something, it almost feels like a seventh, eighths of life kind of threshold that she walked through. The concern is that she would like to have dominion over this animal, over the physical human animal that we are. There is disappointment with the Five of Cups. There is the Three of Swords, which is sorrow. This is a very grave concern about what's going on. But I know I did say her disposition was good. So we're going to get there. Don't worry. She is very in tune with the Wheel of Fortune, that sometimes we are very fortunate. Sometimes we are not very fortunate. Sometimes that wheel crushes us. Sometimes we are riding high on top. Above all, her outward disposition is going to be very sunny, very optimistic. I think we also saw that in her health reading and in the disposition. I think she is going to really dig deep and be as positive as possible. If manifestation is real, she is trying to manifest to counteract this disappointment and sorrow that we see in the middle. Also, I want to make note that this is an unwinding here. We go from 5 to 3. We're unwinding, but under the surface, she has faith. There's faith in God, faith in restorative medicine, faith in recovery. So there is a great deal of faith here. So overall, if I were Camilla's tarot card reader, psychic, court advisor, what would I tell her? What would I do to give her strength? What would I do to help her through this? Disappointment, 5 of Cups, and the Sun. We're back in there. Sorrow is 3 of Wands, or 3 of Swords, and then we have 8 of Wands, and then 3 of Cups. On top, we have the Fool. Oof, and under the surface, we have the Knight of Wands. Knight of Wands. Sorry about that. And remember, our Knight of Wands is actually our King of Wands. That is the master of the suit. We go from princess, prince, queen, knight in the Thoth Tarot. So what I would tell her is that though life gives us disappointments, we always have opportunities to regenerate. We always have opportunities to walk through a doorway that will bring us back to the zero, the infinite zero that our Fool is. That's why the Fool is represented by zero. He is not in physical form. He is all things and all possibilities. All possibilities still exist. Though disappointment, we can find good and light in that. And through this generation, through this regeneration of being the Fool, of finding all things possible in the future, we can go in any direction from this point. Sorrow may come, but it will pass. and we will still experience the joys. So we do have the Three of Swords and the Three of Cups. So even though there is dark, find the light and speed through to the light. Under the surface, be a master of all that you can. So if it is creation and legacy and conducting oneself in a way that history will smile upon, this is what she needs to do. And her head is in the right place. So I do think that Queen Camilla is going to demonstrate an amazing amount of strength. I think she is going to come to the fore with superb conduct. And I do wish her all the best. This abundance card, I think she does need to remember the good that exists in her world and combat the dark with this light, speed through the darkness, get to the light. So I do wish her well. I wish the king and all the royal family well and a speedy recovery and an ease of mind. So I hope you enjoyed this reading. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you in the future.